how in the last 50 years, testosterone levels in men have declined by 50 or 60%. And the same is true with sperm levels as well. So we're seeing like sperm counts declining. And then when we talk about sperm count, of course, we're not just talking about the number of sperm, but we're talking about the quality of viable sperm. Like we're seeing agglutination, like warped, sperm with double heads or without a tail or, whatever. They're unable to do their intended job. And I've done podcasts before where, I've talked about, men are the seed and women are the soil, right? So we have to protect the seed and we also have to nurture the soil. And so with this, inclusion of seed oils and grains, you mentioned insulin resistance a while back, but we can circle back to it now. Why do you think that we are seeing this declining testosterone in men, or maybe more accurately, an estrogenization of men?
Yeah.
Why do you think that we're seeing that? Or do you have any thoughts on it?
No, well, I do. It's multifaceted. There's another great person who researches this is Dr. Anthony J, who wrote the book Estrogeneration. So probably online with Dr. Shanna. I think I heard half of that podcast. I need to finish it, but it's all of modern society. Really, it's all of it's kind of everything. A lot of it has to do with the food, that's the chemicals, it's everything. That's the problem, is that it's everywhere. It's in plastics. I guess most people know about, avoiding certain BPA and all this stuff. It goes way beyond BPA and it's still everywhere. And yes, they make different versions and it's like, oh, this is BPA free, but okay, well, what is it? It's just like one molecule off. And these are all leaching estrogen or having, estrogen antagonists or testosterone antagonists, all this different stuff that happens in the body, endocrine disrupting chemicals. It's in anything though, even in the lines of can, like the liner of cans, like in the soda can, it has it in the liner to protect it. It's in car interiors. Like if you get a new car, that smell, that is all these chemicals that are in the fabrics and all this stuff that are like off gassing into your body when you get into your hot car. It's in the water. It's in the foods you eat. Soy, particularly soy-based products, have tons of these estrogens. Everything about our society. So, I mean, I don't even know what
I know
to
Sean
really
Baker
do.
likes to call them soy boys, which I think is
So, but it makes sense. It's like people are headed that way. It's like there is this feminization happening because of the way we live. So the best thing to do, is to start being aware of all of them. And you have to start using different kinds of pans and not using, you don't heat things up in plastic. And hopefully, people know some of this stuff or you've talked about on other episodes. But one of the biggest things you can do, is change the diet, because what you eat is going to be a huge factor. If you think of the volume of food that goes into your body, that's a big determinant of what happens with your hormones and what happens. Your body has to process all those foods. And so, yes, if you're eating these soy boys, if you're eating all these like fake soy products and refined grains and all these different seed oils, these all basically are affecting you and your hormones. So the best way to counteract that is to stop eating them. And it actually makes a big difference pretty quickly. And also I'd say men or women too, get out there and lift some heavy weights, like do some exercise. Like there's a lot of good research on boosting, not only avoiding estrogen and different things that will, lower your testosterone, but ways to actively gain and produce more testosterone, like, ancestral living, getting out there, doing things.
And I would say that often the low testosterone rarely has anything to do with the testosterone. Like I had a friend reach out to me recently and was like, okay, my T is like testosterone's low. I'm going to start taking supplementation. Like when should I do it? And I was like, well, why don't we actually let's look at your fasting insulin levels. Let's look at your environment, as you were saying, the EDC, endocrine disrupting chemicals. Let's look at your movement. Like what does your NEAT look like? What's your non-exercise activity therm? How many steps are you getting per day? And you just said lift heavy weights. Yes, when men and women lift heavy shit. Like if you want metabolic health, you're not going to, and for the ladies, you're not going to get bulky. I promise. I lift heavy weights. I'm not bulky. Lifting weights, metabolic health, yes. But the other thing that lifting weights does, which I think is often really underemphasized is the impact that it has on your mental health and your mental resilience and your ability to do hard things when it's uncomfortable. And I realize I'm getting on my soapbox, so I'm gonna step down.
Oh, I love it.
I'm gonna step down. But I think that when you face the weights, you know what's gonna be like. I did legs this morning, like destroyed my legs. Like tomorrow, stairs is not gonna be a good thing. But I know that helps it helps me do hard things in my business. It helps me as a mother. It helps me as a parent. It helps me in every aspect of my life. Because it is, I mean, just like the name suggests, it's training your resistance. And, you have world events like a pandemic where we've seen mental health, like just in the tube. And I think that if we were able to go all in on something, I mean, if there's one thing, hopefully if there's two things you're taking away from this conversation, it's eat meat, at least sometimes, and lift weights, because those, and kind of coming back to this idea of testosterone in men, I often talk about, there's two ways that you build muscle, in the gym and in the kitchen, right? So you build muscle in the gym, you tear apart the muscle, you rip up the fibers, the sarcomeres heal afterwards. But you can also create with a protein bolus like meat. You can also initiate muscle protein synthesis, which is just naturally going to increase your testosterone as a male or a female, because you require testosterone to maintain those muscles. So with that, okay, I promise I'm done now. I
love it. Just lift weight. It's everything though. It helps you metabolically, it helps you mentally, but it's even just signaling to your body to get bigger, that you're strong, that you're powerful, that you boosting testosterone, all this stuff, boosting your confidence, everything about it is good. So we'll leave it at that.
Yeah.
Yeah.